Hi everyone, and welcome to our second legal reach out tutorial. If you missed our first legal reach out tutorial entitled Bailable Offences in Zambia, don't worry, it is still available for you to watch. However, we would recommend that you subscribe to this channel so that you're not left out on any future uploads. So today we are looking at very interesting topics: crime, mens rea, and mens rea for murder. So let's start. What is a crime? Initially, there is no Zambian law that provides for the definition of a term crime. It is for this reason that the applicable definition is the one found in the case of Board of Trade versus Owen, a 1957 case. In this case, the House of Lords held that a crime is an unlawful act or default which is an offense against the public and renders the person guilty of an act liable to legal punishment. In line with this definition, there is what I prefer to call components of a crime. What are these components that make up something to be called a crime in line with the definition? So, if we look at the definition, a crime is an unlawful act. So, in line with Article 18, Clause 8 of the Constitution of Zambia, let's just go to Article 18, Clause 8 of the Constitution of Zambia. It states, "No person shall be convicted of a criminal offense unless that offense is defined and the penalty is prescribed in the law, in the written law." If you look at the definition offered in Owen, a crime is an unlawful act. For an unlawful act, for a particular act to be stated as an unlawful, it has to be provided in the written law as an unlawful act. Without it being stated or stipulated in any particular act of parliament or any law to be an unlawful act, then it is not a crime. Further, it has to be an act which is against the public. In simple terms, you've seen cases where it's stating Mwape versus the people. The people, the state that's representing the country. So it has to affect the public in general. It's not something that affects, it's not something between two citizens. It's not a civil crime in simple terms. So it is something that is against the public and renders the person, it also renders the person guilty. Once the person has been convicted, they might be found guilty and face legal punishment, then that is a crime. So let's go now. For a crime to be successfully established or a person charged with a certain offense, it is very paramount that the prosecutor establishes both actus reus and mens res. However, there are some offenses that do not require the element mens rea, such as strict liability. However, there are exceptions to strict liability that may come in, so we'll get to look at strict liability on a later day. But let's go to mens rea. So mens rea, in simple terms, mens rea is basically the state of mind one has. Let's say a certain crime is committed, they look at the requirement that's mens rea. Did the person have the intention to do that? So basically those. Now, mens rea, that is simply that. However, we'll get to break them down because in mens rea, there are some types of mens reas like recklessness, intention, knowledge. We'll get to look at those on a later date. But today